Hello everyone, Zelarinth here, and today it's been announced a new unit coming out for CN on Girls Frontline 2, and so I have not seen the full kit yet, but it does give the information on their background. I will make a follow-up video in the future once we get the entire kit translated. But right now, the next unit that will be coming out is Qiuhua, I'm gonna guess. Terrible at pronunciations, and this is another one with a Q, so you'll eventually, hopefully you'll figure it out, but for now, I'll just call her Qiuhua for now. But one thing is, it's a little bit unexpected on what she is, what her actual element is here, and that's because she's a burn unit, and we just got Pri, which was a burn unit before her on the CN side of things, and we already kind of saw kind of a completion of a full burn team, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. But first, she uses a shotgun, Type 79S, and she is a Vanguard. Now, that is one thing that there is not currently available on the burn side is a Vanguard, so she's going to be a high mobility, and so really good at flanking the enemies, probably lower in terms of the tanking capabilities, but go in, hit, and come back. But currently, that's not how the burn team is functioned, because the whole entire burn team is centered around QJ as your main DPS. So let's kind of take a look at what we currently have for the burn team and then kind of discuss where we can maybe think she'll fit in. So we go here, we have the main one that's currently available, which is QJ, that's on the standard banner. She is, to me personally, one of the best units in the game, and being on the standard banner and an elite unit on it, and absolutely great that she's still holding her value. And she's definitely not going to be power equipped by the new unit because she's a Vanguard while QJ is a Sentinel. So we know that for pretty much a fact here. And so QJ, the big thing is, you all know, she does her support actions. When she uses her ultimate, it gives her 4. Now with that is her big thing. Then you have the other fire unit here, which is Cinerusi. We should be hopefully getting her on the next banner after Dayan, at least based on what we believe is going to happen, based on people that have already kind of data mined it. And she is the healer for the elite healer for the burn team, and just recently got a big buff because a lot of people were using the standard SR unit, Qiuhua, which is over here, as their healer, because while she's not as good on healing side of things, she can provide more buffs initially. But with Cinerusi, she just got a massive buff with her expansion key that kind of brought her up to being better than her on the burn team. But then you also have her great heals coming out, so she's like the main healer slash support. And then after that, not long after Qiuhua came out, so it was Qiuhua, Mekti, and then Vector. So this Vector's quite a bit of ways off for us right now. But she's really what's going to bring QJ into power, especially if you get her first dupe. And one of her big things is she makes it so fire attacks, the support actions, you can have an additional support action with your burn type support attacks, which QJ does get with her expansion key. And so with that brings it up to when QJ uses her ultimate, she can do 5 support actions. If you get the V1 of Vector, you can actually have a QJ that can do 6 support actions. Now that caused a problem as soon as Vector came out, because it was extremely hard to get all 6 support actions, because you have to have 6 actions to have her do her support action. And you only have 4 units in most fights, so it was really hard to do that. So you needed people that can have like counter support actions or some cases like that. So you have that as your first 3. And then that's when they came out on the last one was Pri, which kind of finished the entire fire burn team, because originally one of the better units was who we just got, which is Macchiato, because Macchiato can do multiple hits on the enemy with her counterattack. But she's ice, so she's not as synergistic. She works really well with QJ, and she will be a good unit to have with her until we get Pri. But Pri kind of finished the whole damage side of things with QJ, because Pri has the ability to do multiple basic attacks in a single turn, which can then make it much easier to trigger all of QJ's support actions. And so this kind of completed the team where you had Pri, QJ, Vector, and Cinerusi. And then if you had an extra slot, you could go with, say, you can take in, like, if you want a little bit more extra damage on the support actions, you have Sharkri. You can take Qiuhua for some more support, or you can just take any other DPS to add more damage. And that's if you had the 5 units. So now we're adding in this new unit. She's a Vanguard, which is missing from the team. So, but the question is she going to replace anyone in that core team for QJ? Because they all kind of have important roles. I think the easiest one she could replace is maybe if you don't need heavy healing, maybe she could replace Cinerusi if it's all about kill the enemy before being killed type deal. And if that's the case, then yeah, Cinerusi is the one you're going to want to replace. She is a Vanguard, so she's going to be about getting in, getting out, hit the enemy, do some damage, and then back off. We'll kind of have to see when we actually get the translations. Now, we'll be able to see her skills here in the video we're about to look at, but I can't translate the little Chinese they have, and I think it's just the name of the skill. It's not actually what it's doing, so we'll have to wait till we actually see the kit. But we can kind of get an idea of what it does when we see it in the video. So you have this, some of our animations here, and then they have a video down here. We're going to go ahead and watch it on YouTube since it has trouble rendering there. So we'll go ahead and start the video, and then I'll stop it as I want to mention things here. And so first thing you'll see is her massive personality right off the bat. They make sure to show you that quite a bit through the video. But she is a cook, so she's going to pair well-wise with Sabrina in terms of them being good together in terms of in the dorm and all that, but being Hydra, they won't be good on a team together. But you can see this first attack here, just her basic attack, just a normal shotgun attack. Then it shows her training animations. And then it's about to shows that, so that's her signature weapon. Then you have this skill, which is like a fire breathing one. She's taking in some fire, and then she like spits fire at the enemy. So a big AoE on that. So I'm wondering if that puts debuffs on them, or if it's just a massive AoE type attack. And then this attack, which is an AoE, I don't know if this is Overburn it's applying or some other fire debuff. But just hitting some food or something with a frying pan towards them. 2 skill point cost there. And then you have this one. This one just looks fairly simple when you look at it. I don't know what the image here looks like. It's almost showing missiles. But she just like comes up to him and she shoots him with a pistol. Don't know what it's doing, but yeah, those are the skills that it showed. I don't have what they're actively doing, any numbers on it, but we'll kind of have to see when the kit comes out. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I believe. It's just kind of showing her off here a little bit more. I'm wondering if they're going to have any skins that come out with her, because this is already looking like a premium skin with the top there. I mean, that's what some of the more premium skins have already done with some of the other units. If you've seen Belka's, that's a little bit similar to hers in terms of how out there they are. But yeah, that is pretty much it for her. Definitely a unit I'll be picking up. The Burn team is like my primary team. And eventually it'll be my secondary team when Qiuhua comes out. But the Burn team I will be heavily investing in because the amount of single target damage you can do with QJ. And so I definitely will be picking. She almost certainly is probably going to fit in with the Burn team in some capacity. And it's just going to depend on the content and whether you bring her versus a Cinerusi. But the biggest thing is QJ pretty much is always going to want Vector and is always going to want Puri, because Vector gives her the extra support actions and Puri makes it where you can trigger them. So it's kind of unless she's just like the 5th unit. If you don't need sustain, she easily replaces Cinerusi. So we'll just kind of have to see when we see the kit on her. But I think she'll be an easy pickup regardless. I mean, we don't really have, and the other thing is, I mean, she doesn't have to be a member of the Burn team. We've seen that with a couple of the units. While their main target may be a certain element, you can start having dual elements. And that could be the direction they're going, where we have synergies amongst dual elements. We kind of saw it with QJ, where QJ works really well with Macchiato, and Macchiato is going to probably be the best unit alongside her until we get Puri, which we won't be getting for a while. So if you haven't picked up Macchiato now is still a good time to get her before the banner goes away tomorrow. But Yeah, we'll just kind of have to see how she works out if she fits in any other teams. But I believe, I mean, she's a shotgun user, and we have not had, I think, any. Has there been anything outside of? Yeah, there's been no shotgun users, I think, that are not. Is Sabrina the only elite shotgun user? I believe. No, Vepley as well. So we haven't had a non-standard banner unit. Standard elite unit that came out with a shotgun yet. So she's going to be the first one in that. So we'll kind of have to see how that works. Now, we already know that Vepley's also a Vanguard. Now, I doubt she's going to be the same. Like, I bet she's going to be completely different to Vepley, but you can kind of see what a Vanguard is if you look at her kit to an extent of what they kind of want to do. That high mobility, but she's almost certainly going to be very different to Vepley in that capacity. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I have not seen anything on the kit. Like I said, I will make an updated video once I see that. But that's pretty much it. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.